Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, a place where each gentle tale is designed to guide you toward rest and serenity. Close your eyes and allow the soft glow of this moment to envelop you, carrying you away from the concerns of the day. Right now, settle into a comfortable position and feel your entire body begin to unwind. As you breathe in, imagine your lungs filling with soothing energy that calms every inch of you. As you exhale, let go of the clutter that no longer serves you. Tonight, you will explore a magical night at Angels Falls in Venezuela, a realm where starlight dances across waters and the hush of nature whispers promises of deep, rejuvenating sleep. Gently let your awareness drift to a place of safety and warmth, where every muscle loosens and your heartbeat slows to a steady, comforting rhythm. Notice how the tension dissolves from your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. As you inhale once more, you sense a profound calm spreading through your shoulders and down into your arms, hands, and fingers. With each slow breath, your chest feels lighter, and a sense of peaceful relaxation travels further down your torso, your hips, your legs, until even your toes seem to rest. In this softening state, you are free to journey into the tranquil beauty of nature, where your mind can roam and find solace. Soon the story will unfold, offering a scene of breathtaking serenity. A place where the mind can wander without worry, safe in the embrace of the night. Let your eyelids grow heavier as you listen to the faint hum of your own breathing. It is gentle, unhurried, and entirely your own. Sink more deeply into the surface beneath you, feeling the reassurance of stillness cradling your weary body. This is your time to release, to be present in the tender quiet that surrounds you. Inhale slowly, filling your lungs with that nurturing air, and exhale again, letting it out as a soft sigh. Everything around you, whether near or far, fades into a soothing hush. You may sense a subtle warmth across your cheeks and a delicate tingling in your fingertips, reminding you that you are here in this calming space, preparing to drift into a tender, restful slumber. In just a moment, your thoughts will transition from the swirl of daily responsibilities to a gentle, enveloping story. And as you imagine the lush greenery and resonant stillness of distant rainforests, your whole being leans closer to calm. Now let the narrative begin and allow yourself to float into a dreamlike place where the soothing hush of Angels Falls awaits, shimmering in the twilight, waiting to lull you deeper into the promise of night's repose. Long before the sun dipped below the horizon, a hush rested upon the Venezuelan rainforest, as though the trees themselves were holding their breath in anticipation. Nightfall was near, and the expansive canopy of leaves shimmered with the last vestiges of amber light. Soft breezes floated through ancient branches, carrying with them the subtle scents of moss, damp earth, and wild orchids hidden amid the foliage. In that world, a gentle figure roamed, a solitary traveler who had journeyed far, guided by quiet determination and an unspoken reverence for nature's hidden wonders. The days had been filled with winding footpaths and wooden canoes gliding through winding waterways until at last they approached the foot of the spectacular Angel's Falls. Warm air brushed across the traveler's cheeks, a kind of welcoming whisper from the forest. Far off, the faint rush of water slipped between the trees, a steady, comforting pulse that signaled their destination was near. Though the path was often dappled by shadows of towering ferns, the traveler felt no fear. Instead, there was a sense of belonging, of stepping into a story that had existed for centuries before. All around, the hushed forest bristled with life. Scarlet-plumed birds flitted from branch to branch, while shy creatures rustled in the underbrush. Sometimes the soft cry of a distant toucan would resonate, then fade into silence. Each sound merged into a symphony that welcomed the night. And in the midst of this orchestra, the traveler felt a gentle energy that flowed through every root and leaf, uniting all living things in the serenity of dusk. Eager for rest, yet invigorated by the call of the falls, they pressed on, following a path shaped by ancient stones and the footprints of those who had come before. The rainforest's emerald depths exhaled a primal warmth, and it embraced the traveler, beckoning them deeper into its secrets. Up ahead, the forest parted to reveal a vista of immense grandeur. Standing at the edge of a natural clearing, the traveler peered toward a vast cliff face that soared into the sky. At its summit, wisps of luminous mist drifted like clouds cast in pastel shades by the setting sun. Far below, a white cascade poured from the heavens, a slender ribbon of water that descended in a breathtaking plunge. The air became cool and moist as the traveler drew closer, droplets of mist touching the skin with a tender caress. In that moment, the world seemed to stand still. Even the forest's humming background quieted, hushed by the magnificence of this sight. Angel's Falls commanded the senses with its sheer scale, yet somehow it also invited a timeless intimacy, as if one could be enveloped by its constant soothing rush. The traveler paused at the water's edge, placing a hand on a nearby rock, glistening with a thin veil of dew, and closed their eyes to listen to the lullaby of tumbling water. Under the growing twilight, the waterfall's spray cast tiny rainbows that arced in the gathering gloom. These evanescent arcs flickered briefly, borne by the interplay of water and light, then disappeared into dusk. Above, the fading sky transformed into a dreamy tapestry of soft rose violet and dusky orange, while the traveler settled onto a smooth stone, letting the gentle roar of the falls fill their thoughts. Little by little, cares and worries melted into the background. Each exhaled breath carried away tension, while the rolling rhythms of nature offered a balm of tranquility. The traveler's heartbeat grew slower, in tune with the steady surge of water that plunged from unimaginable heights. In that moment, the waterfall was a guardian of ancient secrets, whispering them through the mist. Tucked within those whispers was the promise of restful slumber, a quiet vow that one could find solace in nature's cradle. A warm breeze rustled the tall grasses at the water's edge, sending small ripples dancing across the shallow pools. Fireflies emerged from their hidden daytime retreats, twinkling like tiny lanterns in the growing night. Their soft glow flickered in the air, momentarily illuminating broad leaves and the delicate wings of other nocturnal insects. Overhead, velvet shadows deepened among the canopy, and as daylight receded, the haunting calls of creatures became more prominent. Yet none of these nighttime voices were jarring. Instead, each chirp and flutter seemed to be part of a lullaby. The traveler, calm and unhurried, lifted their gaze to the towering heights of Angel's Falls. The water seemed endless as it tumbled, drifting into shimmering particles of spray. Tiny silver threads cascaded against the darkening rock, weaving patterns of moonlit lace upon the cliff's rugged face. As twilight embraced the landscape, an aura of gentle magic seeped into every crevice. Time seemed to dissolve in that quiet realm, replaced by an endless, dreamy present. Darkness settled slowly, as though reluctant to deny the traveler more of the waterfall's splendor, yet inviting in its own mysteries. The traveler lit a small lantern they carried, its amber flame dancing in the gentle night air. The glow revealed a softly worn trail that led closer to the base of the falls. Damp ferns brushed against the traveler's legs as they descended, and the rush of water steadily grew louder, each swell of sound accompanied by the hush of crisp droplets caressing the rocks below. Nightbirds cooed from the trees, while pale moths spiraled near the lantern's warm light. Step by patient step, the traveler approached the edge of a swirling pool formed by centuries of cascading water that had carved out the rock. Steam, faint yet noticeable, rose from the water's surface, hinting at gentle warmth beneath the starlit sky. Kneeling at the pool's rim, the traveler trailed a hand through the glimmering surface. The water felt soothing, neither hot nor cold, just a perfect neutrality that matched the traveler's own serene breathing. To witness Angel's Falls under the moonlight was an experience that transcended words. The heights above seemed to vanish into the darkness, leaving only the majesty of water in motion. High on the cliff, a scattering of stars crowned the night, their faint twinkling reflected on the water's mirror-like surface below. It was as if the traveler stood at a border between earth and sky, a threshold where all that existed was the gentle hush of tumbling water and the sparkling constellations overhead. Resolved to linger in this extraordinary moment, the traveler began searching for a comfortable spot to rest. Stones, smoothed over the centuries by the flow of water, provided a makeshift seat. Mossy patches softened the ground, forming a natural cushion for weary limbs. With lanterns set upon a small boulder, the traveler settled in, letting the gentle sway of the fall's chorus lull them into a deeper state of reverie. Soon, the luminous glow of the moon emerged from behind passing clouds, casting silvery beams onto the waterfall. In that light, Angel's Falls took on a dreamlike quality, as though belonging to another realm entirely. The soothing sound of the rushing water felt like a heart beating in concert with the traveler's own pulse, each breath syncing with the cascade. Leaves whispered overhead, dancing in a breeze that carried the hidden melody of night creatures. The traveler inhaled this subtle music, feeling it resonate within them. As the hours advanced, a comforting sense of timelessness settled. The day's exertions became a distant memory, overshadowed by a profound serenity that rolled in with the waterfall's endless flow. Now and then, a bright star would catch the traveler's eye, shining through tree branches, and it felt as if the heavens were quietly blessing this moment of quiet introspection. The traveler's eyelids grew heavier, but the enchantment of the scene kept them awake, entranced by the interplay of moonlight on water. Gradually, the night sky unveiled an ever-widening tapestry of stars, layers upon layers of celestial lights revealed themselves, hinting at the universe's infinite expanse. These shimmering beacons seemed to echo the soft luminescence of the waterfall below, as if the two were communicating in hushed tones. With the moon's ascent came subtle changes. The crash of the falling water took on different shades of sound, echoing against unseen niches in the cliffs. The breeze brushed the canopy from a new direction, rustling leaves in a gentle, hypnotic pattern. Even the forest's nocturnal creatures adjusted their chorus. Through it all, the traveler sat quietly, immersed in the regal presence of Angel's Falls. Now and then, they let their fingertips glide across the water's surface, fascinated by the dappled moonlight that shimmered and broke apart with each movement. The cool air wrapped around them like a comforting blanket, encouraging thoughts to drift and settle in peaceful, unhurried reflections. In that tranquil hour, the spirit of the rainforest seemed to share its ancient lullaby, a restful promise to carry the traveler into healing, renewing sleep. In the hush of this sacred darkness, the traveler's attention was drawn to a group of tiny, translucent frogs perched on broad leaves near the water's edge. Their delicate throats pulsed in rhythmic unison, emitting a soft chorus that blended harmoniously with the murmuring waters. It was as though each living creature played a gentle role in the vast symphony of night. A slender beam of moonlight revealed a cluster of orchids high in the branches, their white petals glowing faintly in the gloom, exuding a light perfume that drifted down on the breeze. Even the stones underfoot seemed to pulse with the ancient energy of this place, as though each one were a subtle note in nature's lullaby. Amid such pervasive harmony, the traveler could sense every worry dissolving. Tensions that once clung to their body and mind now seemed foreign, replaced by a calm acceptance of the present moment. The rainforest, with its 1,000 heartbeats, had become an embrace, a comforting presence that reminded the traveler of the timeless cycle of night giving way to dawn, and how each new day offered renewal. As the night deepened, so too did the traveler's communion with Angel's Falls. They envisioned the quiet story of the water's journey, beginning perhaps as droplets in unseen streams atop the high plateau. Gathering force, it would come together until it formed a mighty cascade, only to tumble down and eventually find rest in the pools far below. Each drop's path was an acceptance of change, of gravity, of the inevitable merging of all streams into one. The traveler found solace in this realization, seeing a parallel with life's own river of experiences, a continuous flow, unstoppable yet ultimately unifying. Such thoughts drifted in and out with the hypnotic rush of water, leaving the traveler's mind open, hushed, free of clutter. With a gentle sigh, they reclined against a mossy rock, eyes half-lidded, letting the lullaby of Angel's Falls carry them further into stillness. Clouds passed overhead, momentarily dimming the starlight, but then slipped away again, unveiling a silver glow that revealed the outlines of tall palms swaying in a far corner of the clearing. The traveler's gaze lingered on these silhouettes, each frond lifting and bowing in a slow, graceful dance. In the distance, a faint glow of bioluminescent plants shimmered at the forest's edge, a soft fairy light that lent an otherworldly hue to the undergrowth. Now and again, a breath of wind brought the sound of distant water trickling over stones, a mild undercurrent beneath the waterfall's louder notes. There was a gentleness in every shift of the night, an unhurried pace that encouraged the traveler's own breaths to become deeper, more tranquil. Even the traveler's heartbeat seemed to slow to match the pulse of this place. The sense of awe that had accompanied them at first contact with the falls was now tempered by a deep peace, as if they had arrived at a realm existing between wakefulness and dreaming. Sometimes the traveler's eyelids would droop and they'd slip toward a half sleep, only to be lulled awake again by a sudden stirring in the foliage or the soft rustle of wings overhead. Each gentle interruption felt like a reassurance. "You are safe here," it seemed to say. "You can rest." Every inch of the traveler's body soaked up the comfort, shoulders releasing any final hints of tension, each breath light and full. The glow of the lantern had dimmed considerably, its flame dancing faintly behind the glass. In its soft light, drifting motes of moisture caught the eye, forming a faint, mesmerizing glow around the rocks. The chill of night was balanced by the occasional wave of warm air that seemed to rise from the ground, creating a mild envelope of perfect temperature. The waterfall's resonant hum continued ceaselessly, like a cosmic heartbeat. Eventually, the traveler shifted to stretch limbs that had grown pleasantly heavy. Looking up, the traveler observed that the majestic cliffs were nearly lost in the velvety darkness, the waterfall itself all but indistinguishable except for its shimmering crest beneath the moonlit sky. A gentle yawn escaped, and the traveler decided to find a more sheltered spot to rest for the remainder of the night. Not far from the pool was a hollow formed by curved roots of a massive tree, cradled by ferns that arched protectively overhead. It was as if nature had sculpted a bed from living elements, offering a soft cushion of moist earth, layered with fallen leaves that gave off the fragrant scent of new life. Settling into this haven, the traveler felt the earth's steady pulse beneath them. The ever-present lull of Angels Falls, just a short distance away, filled the background like a gentle choir. Resting there, the traveler allowed the last strands of conscious thought to slip away, replaced by the comforting hush of the rainforest's nocturnal lullaby. Throughout the night, the world continued in its measured dance. Above the canopy, unseen breezes drifted across the plateau. The starry dome turned slowly, passing from one celestial alignment to the next. The waterfall's cascade never faltered. It streamed continuously, forging a mirror of white foam that glistened in the night. Creatures of the forest occasionally passed by, a curious armadillo rustling through leaves, a tiny possum perched on a branch, peering with wide eyes at the sleeping traveler. Yet nothing disturbed that gentle rest. If the traveler stirred, it was only to shift into an even more comfortable position, lulled back to slumber by the same unchanging hush. The forest itself, so full of hidden life, seemed to watch over this sleeping soul. Over time, all thoughts of past and future were erased by the serenity of the present moment. It was an experience of pure acceptance, each breath harmonizing with the water's descent, each heartbeat softened by nature's profound hush. When the first ribbons of dawn appeared in the eastern sky, the rainforest began its gentle, swirling transition to daylight. A soft gray light filtered through the canopy, revealing the mist that clung to leaves and the edges of every frond. Songbirds commenced their morning calls, timid at first, then growing in joyous crescendo as more creatures awoke. Somewhere in the undergrowth, dew-laden petals unfurled, offering their color to the early light. The traveler, still wrapped in slumber, stirred as a mild breeze carried the sweetness of morning. Slowly, they blinked awake, eyes adjusting to the muted glow that warmed the horizon. The waterfall, now partially cloaked in pale mist, still thundered in a gentle roar. Yet somehow, in the stillness of dawn, its sound felt more intimate, like a quiet conversation with the renewing day. As sunlight strengthened, golden beams broke through the canopy, striking the water in radiant arcs that sent prismatic gleams dancing across the clearing. Drops glistened on leaves and stone, each reflecting a tiny replica of the rising sun. The traveler stood and stretched, feeling the renewed vigor that only comes from deep and healing rest. The memory of the night returned slowly, shimmering starlight, the soothing lullaby of the falls, the balmy hush of the rainforest. There was a sense of deep gratitude that welled up, a recognition that nature's tender watchfulness had restored both body and spirit. Quietly, the traveler gathered their belongings, giving a farewell glance to the massive tree roots that had provided shelter. There was no rush in that moment, no pressing urgency, only a gentle acceptance that all journeys must continue and that the traveler's path was flowing onward, just like the water from the summit. Still, before departing, the traveler lingered at the edge of the pool, letting a hand glide through the surface once more. Morning sunlight transformed the water's reflections into lively, dancing sparks of brightness. A rush of gratitude and calm filled the traveler's chest, and in that feeling lay a silent promise to carry the peace discovered at Angel's Falls onward, to keep that quiet serenity alive in the face of the day's inevitable demands. The traveler let out a soft exhale as if releasing the last fragments of doubt or tension that might have lingered. Now, the day was fully born, the forest stirring with life. Yet through the shift of dawn, the calming spirit of the place remained, as unwavering as the waterfall that had stood guard through centuries of dusk and dawn alike. Stepping carefully on the soft earth, the traveler made their way back along the winding path. Leaves and vines glimmered, coated in dew that sparkled under the rising sun. Colorful birds swooped across the clearing, painting arcs through the air. The waterfall itself stood shining, crowned by rays of morning light. Even as distance grew between the traveler and that majestic cascade, the memory of gentle waters, moonlit stones, and whispering breezes lingered. The journey through the rainforest, guided by the night's subtle magic, had not only led to the foot of Angel's Falls, but also offered a discovery of inner stillness, a treasure that would remain long after the traveler had moved on. Each step away brought a renewed sense of vitality, balanced by a profound calm that coursed gently beneath every heartbeat. It was as though the waterfall's hush remained inside, a silent companion carrying the warmth of nature's lullaby forward. Beyond the curve of towering ferns, the path opened onto a softly lit riverbank. The waters of a broad tributary drifted lazily, reflecting swirls of pink and gold from the morning sky. The traveler paused one last time to glance back in the direction of Angel's Falls, though invisible now behind the green canopy. Its soothing presence still resonated like a faint echo in the air. Offering a wordless goodbye, the traveler placed a hand over their heart, the universal gesture of gratitude. Then, as the day's journey called, they turned to follow the meandering course of the river. The forest creatures seemed to escort them, flitting along the fringe of the path as if offering a gentle farewell. Overhead, the sun climbed higher, painting the leaves with 1,000 shimmering shades of emerald, jade, and lime. Peace and vitality meshed seamlessly, illuminating the rainforest in a living tapestry that pulsed with life. And so the traveler continued onward, guided by a quiet confidence that came from a night spent in pure communion with Angel's Falls. The day promised new sights and sounds, fresh marvels to discover. Yet none of these could erase the gentle memory of starlight on cascading waters, of a hush so profound that it eclipsed every thought of daily troubles. Angel's Falls remained like a soft echo in the traveler's mind, a source of calm to be revisited whenever tension crept in. In time, the traveler might return, drawn by the memory of moonlit mist. But even if that journey were distant, the spirit of the falls was already carried within. The gift of rest, of truly deep and renewing sleep, had been bestowed by nature's benevolence, and it would remain for as long as it was cherished. With each step further from the falls, the traveler held on to the sense of wonder and reverence that transcended words. Now, in the soft hush at the close of the evening, let the memory of Angel's Falls gently guide you to a place of deep rest. Imagine the same tranquil energy flowing through you, quiet as a whisper, comforting as a warm embrace. Sense the gentle lull of falling water echoing in your mind, a steady rhythm that aligns with your heartbeat. Each breath you take draws in calm, and each exhale carries away the last traces of tension. Let your body feel heavy and secure, grounded by the softness beneath you. There is nothing else to do, nowhere else you need to be. If your thoughts wander, gently bring them back to the memory of shimmering water cascading under the moonlight, the hush of the rainforest, lulling every cell into peaceful stillness. With each slow blink of your eyes, you drift deeper into relaxation, invited by the same tender night that watched over the traveler. The quiet sanctuary of sleep is here, waiting for you to surrender. You are safe, you are at ease, and it is time to find the comfort of dreams. As you slip further towards slumber, allow the echoes of that magical night at Angel's Falls to gather around you, forming a soft cocoon of serenity. Let your breathing become effortless, each inhale filled with renewed tranquility, each exhale guiding you further into a peaceful realm. The hush of nature wraps you in gentle arms, and the melody of falling water resonates in the distance, calming and unwavering. Release every muscle and sigh away any lingering thought. In the depths of this quiet, you are free, untethered from worry, embraced by the infinite stillness that resides in the heart of night. Feel your eyelids grow so heavy that keeping them open is no longer necessary. It is time to rest. You have listened to the timeless lullaby of the falls, and now its soothing cadence continues within you, leading you safely into the sweetest dreams. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.